Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jan, and in this video I want to tell you about triangles and how to trade them. I do really like that pattern, and every time I see it I will always trade it, and it works well. Of course I can't say 100%, but most of the times it works nice and I'm always in profit. And of course you have to know some uh, kind of details about it, which I will try to tell you and share with you my thoughts about and how I trade it and what you should to pay attention on. And of course, first of all, I want to tell you that trading Forex can be not only profitable, it's very risky, so you might not make money, you can also lose money even more than you invested. So always use money management. Remember, it's about risks, and you decide for yourself if you really want to do it or not. And all I do is I only share with you my strategies, my techniques, and my thoughts. So okay, now we can start. So in the previous video I showed you, of course, support, resistance and trend lines, how I use them to predict the movements and also to see the trend. And of course, you saw on the monthly chart for Euro USD, I showed to you very good of examples of triangles. So I'm not going to show you them again in this video because there's no point. You saw them perfectly. I'll show you how to see them and how to trade them on smaller charts, because that's what I do, and it's probably more important to identify them, let's say, during the your trading. So I usually use it on Euro USD, of course, it's my favorite pair. Also you can use it on main pairs. I was trading on pound dollar, Canadian dollar, and I think I was trading dollar yen with triangles, not as much. But usually it's euro dollar, and the other pairs, if I see a really good one, triangle, I would trade it. And you can also use it on any time frame. Usually, but not, I don't use it on 1 minute and 5 minute chart. I don't use those charts. The minimum I use 15 minutes, but the 15 minutes has a little bit, let's say, circumstances. It's quite small. Usually the triangles are very small. They only have few pips, and like sometimes it could be just only 20 pips. How big is it? The profit could be around 10 pips. So when you see something like this, it's better to, of course, when you trade it on Pro, because when you have a normal account, micro account, you have a bigger spread than on a Pro, and that's why it might not work. So you kind of have some things here which you have to bear in mind when you are trying to trade triangles. But on the bigger time frames, usually 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours daily, monthly, they're quite well. Working quite well, they're quite big. But if you go for the bigger time frames, like let's say monthly one, or like daily 4 hours, then they're quite big patterns, and of course you need a little bit more money, especially in the monthly one. That's I'm not going to show it, because you really need to have a big account, because when the market goes against you, you have to hold, because it can happen, and your account, you should have enough money in the account to hold when the market reverses against you. So let's start from how to identify it and how to trade it, because you can always decide it for yourself, but remember about risks. So it's euro dollar right now, so I'm going to open 15 minutes, because that was on the 15 minutes better, because usually I do it on the 15 minutes. Of course, I'm not going to tell right now, because I will be making videos when I will be showing it to you how to use it on real charts, real life charts, when we'll be looking at them at different patterns and different support resistance lines. Right now I'm going to tell you again the main basics of trading that pattern. And so I'm not going to go for like monthly chart, check out where the market right now, the daily chart, 1 hour chart. You don't even need it quite often, but I usually do it to analyze it for a better result, because as you can see, last year I showed you the results. You mostly would see there are no losses I had, because I do actually like to look at every single possibility what can happen, and always be in mind it's better to take small profit than to go for a bigger one and have a loss. But it's all up to you. You decide for yourself what you want to do and how you want to do it. So it's a 15-minute chart. What do you look at this? Like, let's say I'll show you now. If Can you tell me if you can see a triangle here? Probably not, maybe, I don't know. There are some other patterns here, but we're looking at triangle right now. So look at this side, and that's what we're going to look at. This is a triangle, which might be not many of you can see it, but I can see it. And I'm going to show you how you could see it and make some money on this movement. So let's see, we have been trading, and market stopped, well, whatever, we can do it like this, you see? So it stopped around here, and we don't know what to do next. So what we do first, of course, we have to identify the trend. It's very important. As I said, we will be looking at the other time frames, but right now it's like 15 minutes chart, and that's what you can do just on a 15-minute chart without even looking at the other ones. So first of all, let's go back a little bit, and we'll see what was happening before. So you see this uptrend. It definitely was uptrend. So it's right, we can see uptrend, 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 and then we can see here, well, actually you can see it's a little bit like that the other pattern I told you, and kinda, and it changed the direction, and then it started move again, and so what we noticed that our top, we're always looking at tops and bottoms. Yeah, what's the market makes, tops and bottoms, and previous top was lower, this top was up, and next top is low. So we can kind of like thinking, okay, we have a bottom and we have two tops, remember, bottom and two tops. So even if we would be like here somewhere, we would know we already have a bottom and have tops here, top here, and it's lower. So I'll just go back, this will be easier. So again, I'm taking my equidistant channel lines, and I'm going to draw them parallel, nothing new. And even without even knowing about this one, that bottom didn't even form yet, for example, but let's say I had this top and I had this top. So here it is, this is my downtrend. So the downtrend started, say, yeah, it started, and well, let's say do it like this. So the downtrend started, I have two tops, one bottom, then it started to move, so I'm waiting for the next bottom, of course, and inside my lines, and we have like another one and another top. So and finally it dropped and confirmed, because while they were balancing here, they were still higher than this bottom. So we thought, okay, maybe it was a correction and the market is still going up. But the second bottom confirmed that we have downtrend. So for me it's a confirmation, okay, I'm in downtrend now. So, and of course, like looking here, I'm thinking, okay, I'm downtrend, great. So now I'm waiting for next top. So this is one, and this is kind of two, because none of them touched this line. So this is number two, and we're waiting for number three. So I'm expecting it somewhere around here, number three, and then will be number three bottom. So we're looking for number three, and we see that number three is kind of decided to wait a bit. So after that bottom, we have this top. It's formed higher than this one. This is a little one, which maybe I wouldn't even look at it, but okay, it's formed here, but it's still lower than those ones. So okay, we're still kind of in a downtrend, except this tells me a little bit something is like maybe not right, I don't know, but let's wait for the bottom. So I'm going to wait for the bottom. Next bottom formed and started to go up again, and we can see that the bottom is about on the same level as the previous bottom, so maybe slightly a little bit higher. So that's the first bell, which kind of tells me, okay, there is something is forming here. So I'm taking my trend line and I'm drawing the other line. So maybe like this, I can draw it like this a little bit, maybe I'll draw it like this a little bit, because more candles will touch it then, so it's kind of like more stronger. As I told you, the more candles it touches, the more stronger the level is. So it's kind of right here, more like parallel, maybe more straight. And of course, so first we find out the trend. Second, we see that something started to form inside the trend, and we're looking again for two bottoms and the top, or for two tops and the bottom. In this situation, in our example, we have two bottoms and one top. Okay, so now I can do again, remember parallel, that's what the market likes. Symmetry, symmetrical, parallel, and so we're waiting. Okay, maybe they will started to form here, but you can see it started to form a little top here, and then it started to go down again. So I would draw from this top. So we found our second top, which confirmed that we have here something. So this is what I call the waves. For me the wave would be from bottom to top to the bottom one, from bottom to top, second wave. So I'm waiting for the next bottom, so there will be like two waves inside. Some people would count the waves like this: one wave, second wave, third wave, so waiting for fourth wave. And so we can see that here it's actually formed, and it started to form around here, and you can see then afterwards the market moved down. So what I would look at, so I would like, okay, I'll draw it like this because I have that third bottom which started to form it, and I will draw this line too. So let's say when the market was around here, so we can see we have we have two tops and we have three bottoms. So after that I would expect thinking, okay, well, first of all, it looks like, because we know we have ascending, descending and symmetrical triangles, so this one looks like more a descendal. The triangle which shows that the trend will continue, it's like it's going down, but you know that it's never guaranteed, it's not always. So I would of course think, okay, maybe that will going to break it here on the third, like 1, 2, the third top will break, or we'll have 1, 2, 3 kind of bottoms and the fourth bottom will break. So I would expect of course more it will go down, but who knows, maybe it will go up. So that's how I would make it and think. So what the next one we would think, of course, well, let's just open this because it's going to be a bit easier to see it that way. Okay, so here's an important thing. When you're trading on the 15-minute chart, you need to bear in mind which time the triangle formed and which time we think it will break. First of all, of course, we would look on this side, we wouldn't expect it to break, so we'll be thinking about, of course, the closer to the top of the triangle. Let's say this is the top of the triangle, this is the bottom of the triangle, and so we're checking out the time of the day. So we see, you can see here at the bottom, it shows that it started to form during the day. You see it's like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, now it's like 10 o'clock, so it's all GMT, and all of this started to happen is around 1 o'clock AM GMT, so this is Asian session, around Asian session. So of course we would see it's getting narrow and narrow, this part, and so we would expect, of course, it should break around here somewhere. So because it's usually I would like count 1, 2, 3 is going to be breaking, 1, 2, 3, it should go break on 4. Or the other option can break is that I'm counting again. If I have, let's say, 1, 2, 3 bottoms, I would expect that the third top will not form, but it will break. Or if we have 1, 2, 3 tops, it should break on the third bottom. But here it's all on number 4. And so on the bigger time frames you might have a little bit more, but I think the most strongest triangles, if you have at least 3 bottoms and 2 tops, and the other way around, if you have 3 tops and 2 bottoms. So we would pay attention when we're waiting for the third bottom or the top, and also if we have 3 and 3, we will wait for the fourth. And then if it's like go like 5th and 6th, it's getting narrow and narrow, so it's kind of might turn, actually come out from the triangle. It might just continue in the channel. So you have to like bear in mind and look for it. But usually this is what happens with the triangle. So they look like this, and as you can see here around, bear in mind it's Asian session, so you'd expect, okay, Asian session is going to be quiet, so probably it ain't going to break on Asian session. And we're thinking, okay, the beginning of new day, the beginning of European session, that's where it's going to break, most likely, because you see how narrow it is. When else is going to break? It ain't going to wait until the American session opens, no. So European session, that's what we predicted, and that's what happened. 5 o'clock it started to break slowly, and 6 o'clock it broke completely, and it went down exactly kind of how we predicted. It even went down a bit more. And so a little bit more, and here the next stage is of course where to put your orders and stop losses and profits. So how I do it, I usually, it all works the same. It's a symmetrical triangle or descending or ascending triangle. So what I do, like in this one we have like this line is a straight line, so I would just go around closer, of course, to the top. Around here it would have been, of course, after the creating, after market touched the third bottom, so I would go like for around 10 pips down. Because it's a very small triangle, so it's like about what I'm expecting, thinking like about 40 pips, roughly, maybe like around here 30 something, so I'll just go for around 10 pips, and that would be my order, stop order for sell, yeah, to sell here and buy around there. But another thing also, of course, I have to make that one, and this one is going to be parallel to the other one. I always would draw parallel, like you see here. This is the parallel, this is the parallel, because it, as you can see, is the pattern creates when it goes the other way. It's kind of like supposed to go down, we think, right? But it started to create triangle in the middle. So first, of course, I would think it might reach that also, the line, the one would draw parallel to this line. And so here could be profit, but actually it's about the same with the main downtrend. So we kind of already know that market will come out here. Especially we know another thing to look at, it's European session opens. As I said, made video also about the sessions, remember, and I said it's not very important exact timings, exact minutes wherever it opens or closes, but roughly we know it starts around 6, so about 5 like already starting to pay attention, so 6, and around 7 o'clock, now we know 7:30 London market opens, and you can see that here is around 7, so 7:30 it slowed down and it started to reverse. So it's kind of, usually it's kind of another thing about it, that quite often European session starts one direction and then London opens, it changed the direction. So bear it in mind when you are in a situation like this and thinking what you should do. Maybe you should keep it, like leave it, keep going, because we might have some other levels around here, as I didn't draw them right now because we're just talking about how to build it and what to look at the main things. These are the main levels, that's the main levels. The other ones, if we would have like here, could be Fibonacci also I use, and also there would be some other levels from the bigger time frames, but right now I just don't pay attention to them because those would have been the first to go through. And so what I usually do is, I would just so I place the order here to sell, and if it would be symmetrical triangle, I would just look at the previous bottom, 10 pips down, in the same order for sell, and the same up would be for this one. So I would usually go for the previous top where it touched and go do the same, 10 pips up, so it would be 10 pips up from around here somewhere. And but because this one is very narrow, you can see it's very narrow, so I think that one, if it will go up, it should, like, first that would be the place to touch it, so it's around about 26 pips. So it's very narrow, but it still can bring some pips. And I would probably go for this, because you see here we had more like a little channel, and so I would go not from that top but from that little channel. So I would go from around there for about 10 pips, and waiting it for go to this first and to that red line, so it's around 20 pips. So would take it, buy it here and sell in 10 pips, and probably just put trailing stop. That's how I usually do. I take 10 pips and put trailing stop, or I take 10 pips, I move the stop loss in the safe position, and I can wait for, let's say, market would go further and see how far it goes, and I just can move stop loss. So trailing stop or stop loss, moving the stop loss, increasing the profit, it's all up to you how you decide, but this is the main basics, main system techniques, the ones I use. So that's how I do it. And also the stop loss, of course I put the stop loss, because when you don't have a very big account, you don't know if something can happen. The market may do anything. So what I do, I put stop loss. If so, let's say I put my order sell here, so I put the stop loss for the order buy, and the other way around, if my order for buy would be here, then I put stop loss for the order for sell. So the stop loss and orders, they will like cross each other. So if the market will go the other way, it will close my stop and take me into the other trade, and the other way around. So that's how I protect it, and that's how I do it. Because usually with triangles, if it like didn't move enough in one direction, it usually will go in the other direction, move enough. But as I say, to protect myself, I usually just go for very small pips, for about 10 pips. Close some positions, and then the rest I would already decide, and it depends on the situation in the market, which hopefully in the future I will be trying to do it on in real time, and we can see all the examples. And so here we go. That's how it works. Important things you have to bear in mind that, of course, as I said to you, if it's on a bigger, let's say on a bigger time frame, it's going to be much more points, of course, more stop loss you have to put, exactly the same, but it will be a little bit more. So remember about risks, of course, and risk smaller lots. And also important, so remember, if we are around different time session, around sessions, Asian session, European session opens, American session, or the week closes, so you have to also bear in mind where your triangle is creating. And if you would know this, you would know how to work around it. So that one was like perfect one, created exactly in the right time and started to break in the right time. News, of course, always remember about the news events, because doesn't matter what your indicators say, doesn't matter what your resistance support lines say, the major big news, they can break any rules because they don't follow any rules. So if you think the triangle will work, it might not, because the news can just break everything you thought should happen. It will not work. So you have to be either not maybe trade during the news or be very careful. I'm going to show you the example exactly last year. That's what I was trading. And okay, this is not, it was March. One of my results of the last year, when you saw where I made 11,000, well, I was yeah, it was 11,000, and where I where is it now one? Where I was just using all my techniques. It was, I used triangles, I will use the channels and spot resistance, and so here's the example of the triangle. I want to show you on the one chart where exactly I had news, and let's see what happened in that one. So this is like quite nice, beautiful triangle. It's a symmetrical one, and the same, we don't know where it would go, it doesn't show which direction. Also, I'm not going to like spend time to showing you like you already know about the trend. So here I had my triangle, and I had 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see, because it's a bigger time frame, 1 hour, so you can see you have 4 nice tops, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, well, I had 3 nice bottoms, and then the 4th started to show. And so here what happened, I was trading this one, and so it started to break in here. As you can see, it started to break on that one, but then it moved back, and the next one, they were news, and this news, as you can see, that's what they've done. They broke kind of our rules. As you can see, we had the first kind of false breakout, and then market moved back, and it didn't reach the 5th top. It's actually broke, and it didn't go anywhere where we would expect it to go. It turned around quite high, and once again it didn't go anywhere close. Let's say it didn't reach any of our expected levels. So that's what I'm saying to you. When the news, you need to be attentive, and on quite big time frames, it not always can reach your let's say your top level or your channel. You will have to look really for, let's say, the bottom of the triangle. Like you can draw lines like this, where it will be, for example, one of your points of the profit, because look at this, it's already quite far away. It's like about 40 pips, and then you expect market, let's say, reach your, well, our predicted lines. It would be like about 100 and something pips, which happened in the news. But you can see what happened in the news, that we were thinking, yeah, okay, it will break here and it might go there with the news, but it broke down first and then it broke up. So how it worked with me here is, I said to you, as you know, I usually like to take profit at around 10 pips and then I lock it, and well, I'm closing some positions, and then I leave either trailing stop or move the stop into the safe position and waiting to reach the profit target. And here's exactly what I've done, because I knew there will be news. So of course I didn't expect it to go like this. I don't remember like really very important news or something, but it was exactly in the time where we think, again you see, it was beautiful, and I felt like around here it should break, just as usual. Would think around this area it should break somewhere around here. As a 1 2 3, we would expect 1 2 either break in here, or 1 2 3, and we'll have 1 2 either break in here. So but it formed nice beautiful waves, and so number 4 would think it should break. So around here I thought it will break around here and will continue down, but you see it didn't. So first it done this, then it's returned, and then that's why I put as usual, I decided 10 pips, I'll take 10 pips and leave trailing stop, and that's what it's done. I got 10 pips and the trailing stop closed me, and then the next wave the market is moved up, and it broke that level and actually took me into the other trade. And also I closed some positions and closed everything here. So in total, I'm not going to say like all the details, but you can see how it works. So in total I got 10 pips around here and 40 pips around here. So if I would probably go for a normal profit in here, it would be lost. So if it would go down without taking half of the profit and leaving it up to the main one, it would be around what, here somewhere, right? So that's how we would think about it. It never reached that level, so it never even reached on such big ones. If you would draw like something like this, because that's quite important one in that situation, it didn't even reach that. So if you would think it should have reached and you didn't protect yourself around here, it would have returned and you would make loss, and then it would take you into the other one, which also didn't reach the expectation, except it reached that level, so you would make on this one. So that's it. That's why I'm saying I like to take small. I like to protect myself, and I better to go for a smaller profit than trying to catch the bigger one and make loss. That's why you would see I don't catch sometimes a very good big moves, but I try to play a bit more safe. So I guess that's it. So here's another one right at the end. Exactly the same thing happened. We had news, and of course the triangle started to form, and I didn't use this one because it started to form, but then we had something here. You can see it's already didn't form nicely, the another wave, let's say, and also here not very attractive, and then we had news and nothing happened. Well, except it reached around here, but you can see usually, as I say, I would wait and think it should break in this area. So when it started to do something like this, break in here, expecting the news, then you just forget about it. This is not your working model of triangle. Even though it's broke here, so you would walk around it, I wouldn't walk with this. When it started to happen around here, something like this, too close to our targets, it's not good for me anyway. So this is what I would look for. Breaking the triangle should break around this area, so not too close. When it's starting to get too close and still not breaking, quite often it just continue like this and turn into something like that, like a channel. So if this should break around kind of this area, let's say, creation of good waves inside it, space between the top of the triangle and a little bit away from it, this is where we would usually think of the breaking point. So here we go. And well, that's it really. There is also the other types of triangles, which I'm not going to really pay attention on them because they do actually work about the same. The other ones you have is a wedges. Wedges, they're saying usually they create like, you need to take a long time for them to create, but they would look the same like triangles. So if you see them, it will be triangle anyway. And so what else could be the the other one, can't even see an example. Usually on 15 minutes after the market moves very fast, one direction, like after the news, it can move really fast, and then it could, at the end of the movement, it can create like a little triangle, which called pennant. I think so. I think it's called pennant, and that's the one. That's the example. So that's something like a pennant, called because it's also like a flag pennant, but flag would create as channel. And you know about the channels already, except it might not be horizontal channel. It might be a little bit going up channel, but that's the, I'm sure it's called pennant. And I would look at similar kind of condition. It's like so it's like forming like a triangle. I would also put the orders, for example, where it touches here the most. So trying to really more like to try to draw my channel and put the orders up the same and put the orders down. Except you can see usually it has here like a poster, which is usually the same length it was previously. It will continue the same length. But as you know, again, as I like to protect my trades, I would go again for 10 pips. Close half positions, leave the rest to go on trailing stop or just moving the stop loss behind it. So, and well, I guess that's it I was trying to tell you. If I've forgotten something, I will also post a little article where I try to write all the details, maybe something which I forgot to say, so don't forget to look at it. It's janafx.com, my blog, and of course if you have questions, please ask, I'll try to answer. And well, that's it for now. Bye everyone.